Gary McGuey, high school practice leader for the Leader in Me. We're extremely excited to be launching our very first team leadership series entitled QuaranTEENed. This week, we're going to go a little different angle this week. Today, we're going to have a Q&A opportunity with Abby, Hannah, Nyla, and actually the team asked if I would invited me to stay on the call as well. So it's going to be the four of us. I'll be more of a listener, but maybe sharing some. So team, I'm just going to turn it over to you guys and let's have some fun.
Okay, well, I guess since the theme for this week was my idea, I will go ahead and start with the first hard-hitting question. So we're getting real deep here today. So my question, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. Has there ever been a time in your life when you feel like you are the odd one out? Like everyone else seems to be getting along and fitting in or normal, and you're the one that's different. Like, I feel there's so many memes about like the person that has to walk like on the curb while the other people walk like in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And you're just kind of like, but like, have you ever had that feeling? Because I don't know. Like, I feel like I've felt that before, and it's just kind of like, does everyone feel like this, or is it just me?
No, yeah, actually, that kind of hits home. That makes me think of how I've been feeling during quarantine, because like some people are more strict about quarantine and others are less strict about it, whatever works for them, right? But my parents happen to be more strict about it, so I'll see a lot of my friends hanging out and getting to do stuff, and my parents want me to stay home, so I feel a little bit like the odd one out just because I feel like, you know, I'm missing an action. That's what I feel like.
FOMO, that's what it's called. Fear of missing out.
There we go.
For me, it was like, so my sophomore year of softball, I was on varsity and I played a little bit and then I had like a slump, and then like there's 5 of us of kids in our class, right? So all 5 of us were already on varsity, and the other 4 were already starting, and like once I got into my slump, like then my coach just like took me out, and I was just a runner the whole time, and so I had to watch like all the 4 girls start in my class, and I was like start on the field, and I was like, bro, like I'm as good as these other outfielders. Like I know I can't hit right now, but I can bunt, I can run, I can do all this other stuff like for me. But I also understood like kind of why she didn't put me in. So I mean, yeah, I like understood, but like I felt left out.
So as I'm listening to you, I'm thinking of this word empathy, and I'm going back to when I used to be a teacher. I'd always want to make sure, and not just even my own students, that everybody felt like they were part of something. If I felt that somebody was not included or feeling sad, I would really make an effort to try to, you know, bring them up, maybe say something nice to them or do something nice for them, or remind them that the greatness they had within them. Because I think everybody feels that way sometimes, and I guess it's okay to have those moments. But as an educator, I always felt it was my responsibility to try to pick it up so everybody felt included.
Yeah, when you said that, it reminded me, I was listening to a podcast this morning. I was on my little run, had my speaker playing, and it said something about how like right when you're about to hit a breakthrough and you're about to like be even greater than you are, like life is going to try to like tear you down, because it's like seeing how great you're about to become, you know, like it was like, why beat a dead horse? Like why would, you know, like evil try to come and tear you down when you're already down? Like you have to be so cautious that like right when you're about to have your breakthrough, like that's when people are going to either get jealous or like, you know, life is just going to try to be hard. And so I feel like that's kind of where you just have to realize, like, even though you may be having like a tough time right now, it always gets better, and it like will 100% make you a stronger person, even if it's hard in the moment.
What are your, can I ask you said it's going to get better. So right now, going through COVID, I mean, what are your thoughts? When's it going to get better? How's it going to get better? Is it going to get better?
I mean, I feel like COVID itself, I haven't really, obviously I can't really be like, poof, be gone. But as a community, I feel like I've grown closer with like the people around me because we've tried so hard to connect. But like I feel like I'm closer with my friends than I was before. Like I realized how much I took people for granted, and now I'm enjoying spending time with people because I don't know if it's going to get taken away. You know, we even talked about that at the beginning, but I feel like that was kind of if I'm going to be honest, like I feel like it was a kind of a thing just to like keep us positive, but like it actually is like we are actually becoming better mentally as a community. And once this is all over, I feel like we have to focus and remember the hard time that we had to enjoy what we have in the future.
I feel like with COVID, like that's all you can say is like there's gonna be an end. That's all you have. Like that's all you can look forward to. It's kind of like for me, I committed to college to play softball, and that was like kind of like the fruit at the end of the tree. And so like you kind of have to like push through to get to the fruit, like to get to the end of the tunnel. And like that's all I've been saying like all my life is like I'm going to commit to college. I'm going to do all the hard work. Like you just have to keep pushing through and do what you can to get to like the end goal. And if you just have, sometimes you just have to wait and like kind of figure it out and wait it out and let life take its course, I guess. Yeah.
Nice.
That's so true. That's so true. Well, just going back to whenever you're saying like when will COVID get better, the first thing I thought about is like every day we're getting a step closer to everything being better. So, for example, sometimes we'll see on the news that they're getting closer to finding a vaccine, you know what I mean? And I remember whenever they first came out with the antibodies test, like that felt like the first step in the right direction. So I feel like each day is another step, you know, that we're going, you know, so I think each day it's getting better. We're just going to keep going, it's going to keep getting better. And I just have to stay positive in that aspect. So.
Do you think people are like you know, you three, and I know you three pretty well over, you know, and you're all driven and proactive and take the initiative. And this isn't just a teen question, because there's adults too. You feel some are just kind of in a pause mode, waiting for this to end, and they're not really, you know, being as focused as they could be. Is that, you know what I'm saying?
Like using, yeah, I think I get what you're saying.
They're just kind of not as focused as they could be because they're kind of waiting for this to be over. And then,
like maybe kind of using COVID as a, I don't know, maybe there's a word I'm looking for, as like a, basically an excuse.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I feel like pre-COVID, everyone was like, oh, well, I have this, so I'll worry about that later. Oh, well, I have to focus on this right now, so I'll worry about it later. Like, you know, I have more important things to do. But once everything got canceled, like that task that you had to do, like there's nothing stopping you. And so now I feel like it's so easy to be like, well, COVID, you know, we're always trying to like find the new thing to like, if you keep putting other things before it, you're not going to do it. And I feel like that's become so clear during this time, because like everything's canceled. Like if you just put your thing on pause, like it's not going to get done. And once you realize that, I feel like it kind of forces you to like turn on that mode of like, okay, like I have to get this done. And I feel like that helps so much with just the whole pause thing, because it's so easy to just get in the slump. Yeah. You
don't even have really an excuse, because there's so many loopholes. There, guys, like the amount of loopholes you can get through with COVID is insane. Like you don't have an excuse. You can find the solution. So go get it done.
And I wasn't planning on keep asking these questions, but you keep stirring up questions in my mind. And so what's one thing you've learned, gained, that you didn't think you would these past few months? Or maybe surprised you?
I don't know if this was a surprise, but something that I really, I think it was a surprised because you see in the movies and Hollywood, whatever, where they're always like, don't take things for granted. I mean, even people say that, but you know what I mean? Like, it's always just like, don't take anything for granted. But, I just realized that you have to go for what you want when you want it, and you cannot take anything for granted. And not in like a loner type of way, but I've also learned that like you're your number one person. Do you know what I mean? Like, no matter what happens, sounds so dumb, but like if you think about it, no matter what happens, you always have yourself. So you got to take care of yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've learned that, you have to go after what you want. Don't take anything for granted. Take care of yourself. Just all these things that we're told, but it really sunk in for me during quarantine.
Nice.
So when you asked the question, I was deciding between two because I didn't know which one. One of them was more about passion and one of them was more about mental health. But honestly, I feel like they kind of go together because I never realized, like, how sometimes you go through something and you don't realize that like you're kind of going through something until you're out of it. So that was kind of like what I was doing. And not like playing the pity card or whatever, like, poor Abby, she's going through a hard time, whatever. Like, I was fine. I was going to school. And then I was, doing, my schedule, this to this to this. But I wasn't actually like enjoying any of it. I was just going through the motions. And so it slowly just started to like weigh down on me, and I slowly just started to like do one thing and think about the next thing that I had to do. Like, I never truly enjoyed the moment I was in. And so I feel like it just kind of weighed on my mental health. And once everything was canceled, I started realizing like I need to rest and I need to do this. And when I gained that mental health, I found the things that I was actually passionate about and the things that actually brought me joy rather than just like filling up my days.
I'm gonna finish it up, but for me, I definitely sharpened myself. And like, I spent a lot of time hitting in my backyard and like sharpening my skills for softball. And then I also have a pool in my backyard, so I chilled in the pool for a while. I got committed. And then
Finish that sentence. Committed to what? Finish that sentence. Can't you say committed?
I'm committed to McPherson College. It's in Kansas.
Nice.
And then what else did I do? I got closer to my family, and I just like overall, I felt a little bit more refreshed coming out of it after like May. I was like, oh, okay, I'm chilling now. Like, yeah, like, especially because I was doing so much. Like, I do pole vault and softball, and then on top of that, I have like college classes. So I was just like doing so much at once, and then COVID hit, and I was like, okay. But yeah, well, guys, that was a really good talk. Maybe we'll get to Nyla and I's questions next time. So, I'll see you later.
Good job, ladies. Thank you so much. Out.